Disney Channel was a part of most of our childhoods.
That's right. Oh, you know it. Woohoo!
But as you grow up, you realize just how unrealistic some of these shows were. Fans of some of your fave childhood shows came up with some pretty believable theories, and we're going to break them down today. Seriously, some of these will hit you right in your heart. Can you guess which popular character is supposed to have schizophrenia? Stay tuned to find out if you were right. The Sweet Life. Okay guys, let's start light. The Sweet Life on Deck isn't as old as some of the other shows we'll talk about today, but for many, it was still a vital part of their childhood. The show is all about the twins, Zach and Cody Martin. They end up living at the top of the 5-star Tipton Hotel. The key word in this theory is the last name Tipton. Do you guys remember London Tipton? She's one of the main characters on the show. She's known to be kind of a ditz who's super selfish at the time, but it honestly depends on her mood. Ah, the life of the rich, right? Well, this theory brings a whole new perspective on London. Remember when she was asked if she brought a picture of herself and a person that was described as you-know-who? London immediately replied,
Voldemort?
It was the moment when two of our fave worlds collided. And then this theory happened. It's actually a chain of responses from Tumblr, and honestly, it kind of makes sense. Everyone thought London was a ditz. But at that moment, people started giving her more credit. But this theory goes even further, saying that what if London's actually a witch who just doesn't understand the Muggle world? It would also explain why she never saw her parents, because they'd always be at the ministry. Another Tumblr user said that London is a squib, which means she was born in a wizarding family, but doesn't have any powers. The next user then said, what if she actually had powers and hid them, and basically just pretended she was a ditz? She wanted to work with Muggles, so she became one with the society. And the next user added that it would explain why she can't really use everyday Muggle objects. In case you forgot, London is really clumsy. Of course, this entire exchange was just an exaggerated joke in the true style of Tumblr. But what if it actually was true? We have to give London more credit. Hannah Montana. If you weren't on board with The Sweet Life, you were most likely a hardcore Hannah Montana fan. Let's be honest, Hannah Montana created some of the best moments on the Disney Channel.
You just spit in my eye! Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did!
Plus, it pretty much made Miley Cyrus a household name. Hannah Montana has had several theories over the years, and we'll break down some of the most popular ones. Have you ever heard of the one where everyone already knows that Miley is Hannah? You'll want to rewatch the show after this one, just so you can imagine it in this way. So basically, this theory states that Hannah's dad, Robbie Ray, made everyone pretend they don't know Miley is Hannah. This was done in order so that Miley could live a regular life. Robbie Ray wanted her to have a normal childhood, and it was clear she wasn't going to get it. Another Hannah Montana theory states that Hannah's wig is more magical than we think. You know how with the wig on, Hannah was basically unrecognizable, even though Miley would still look very similar to her? So what if Hannah's wig holds magical hypnotic powers? She might not even know about them herself. But if you think about it, it's pretty suspicious that everyone immediately bought into the fact that Miley looks like a completely different person with a wig. Like, come on, it's just a regular wig. Not impressed yet? Don't worry, we're just warming up. Moving on to another nostalgic fave, Wizards of Waverly Place. Wizards of Waverly Place has an extremely popular theory that's actually a crossover with Hannah Montana and The Sweet Life on Deck. This one is actually kind of believable considering the crossover happened in real life. In case you don't remember it, you have to revisit 2009 and experience all its glory. It was an absolutely epic moment for fans of all three shows, but it also created a huge plot hole. Here's an existential question for you. Since Selena Gomez was both Michaela Skeech and Alex Russo, how would this even work if the characters met in real life? Especially since the shows existed in the same universe for the first time ever. Hannah and Alex conveniently never crossed paths in the crossover episode, but they were on a cruise ship together at the same time. Like, come on, they would have met eventually, right? It's not like the cruise ship was that big, but if Hannah ever saw Alex, she would recognize her as Michaela, the pop star from Hannah Montana. So our Disney Channel universe would pretty much implode. The Tumblr user called Wayfaring and Whatnot sort of explained how both Alex and Michaela were able to exist during this epic crossover. This Tumblr user said that the characters can't exist simultaneously unless Alex Russo created a pop star alter ego and used magic to never be recognized for it. If you think about it, this would tie with the theory that Miley has a magical wig considering she pretty much never gets recognized. And if Alex would actually be using magic, she could get away with a lot more.
We're not gonna lose. We're gonna own it.
Teen Vogue pointed out that Alex did change reality in Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie, so this would actually make sense. So did Alex pull a Miley and also masquerade herself into a pop star during that crossover? And not just during a crossover, but also during the actual Hannah Montana. Was it Alex all along? Okay, this theory actually gave us a headache, so let's just move on. Thanks for that plot hole though, Disney. Kim Possible. Okay, now this theory is actually really believable. We love female superhero characters because they're incredibly inspiring for young girls and women. But what if Kim Possible had another hidden side to her that she never really revealed?
Kim? KP? Kim Possible?
If you think about it, Kim is incredibly advanced for her age, especially since she's so athletic. She doesn't even look like a typical teenager in the first place, but her athleticism is honestly surprising. Considering the moves she makes, you'd think she'd train hard 24/7, but we never see her train. Teenagers would also need extra motivation to do that. Not to mention, she'd have to watch what she eats and make sure she maintains her muscles. But that's not the case for Kim. A Reddit user said that Kim Possible was genetically altered. The theory argues that both of Kim's parents were scientists. What if these scientists actually created Kim and made her strong and athletic no matter what? Like Hulk of her generation, if you will. Which pretty much means she's not human in any way, but gets to live a regular human life. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens in Kim Possible anyways, so maybe this wouldn't be so crazy after all. But then again, this would mean that Kim is definitely not a basic average girl. But we already know that, don't we? Alright, that was a good one, but we're not done yet. On to the next one. We love it when theories about childhood shows get dark, because it shows us just how differently we think now that we're older. Of course, you have to take these theories with a grain of salt, because that's all they are, just theories. Do you remember the show Recess? It's an old show from almost 2 decades ago, but honestly, it's fabulous. It's all about a group of friends and their experiences during school breaks. And here's the theory. We'll shorten it just a bit, but you can read it in full length at quotev.com. And honestly, it's worth the read. Basically, this theory questions why kids in recess never age. As the show goes on, the kids always stay the same. Well, this theory points out that there might be a darker reason behind that. It starts with the fact that all characters were born after the First World War. TJ was one of the first students to attend, and he was an inspirational leader who was trying to become 4th grade president at the time. When the Great Depression hit, the principal of his school made budget cuts to school lunches. There was a process, and unfortunately, TJ got hit by an ice cream truck. Stick with us. Promise it's worth it. The theory goes on to say that TJ's ghost remained on the playground ever since his human version got hit. The ghost encouraged other kids to stand up for themselves too. Eventually, the school had to close down because so many kids lost their lives. The ghosts never left the playground, and they only pretend to have school breaks. The truth is, they'll never be able to go back to real school ever again. Honestly, we're totally on board with this, but we really recommend you read the whole thing because it gives an amazing breakdown of every single Recess character and how they became a ghost. Lizzie McGuire. And last but not least, it's our fave 90s show ever. Kids these days probably know the magic that is Lizzie McGuire. And if you don't, you absolutely have to watch it. It's a fabulous show that's still relevant today. And don't forget about the iconic movie that's arguably better than the show itself. Seriously, Disney nailed it with this one, and we're forever thankful. But that's not what we're here to talk about. This is all about crazy theories. And honestly, this one is the craziest. A Reddit theory states that Lizzie McGuire is all about a girl that's showing signs of schizophrenia. These symptoms can be clearly seen in her alter ego. She's the only one that can see and hear that alter ego. We often see the cartoon version of the human Lizzie come out whenever she's stuck in a situation. Often cartoon Lizzie will also make an appearance when she wants to say something she can't. If the real Lizzie needs to rant, the cartoon Lizzie will come out. That already sounds weird, right? The Reddit user also says that Miranda isn't real either. She's just a figment of Lizzie's imagination. This is also why Miranda disappears by the end of middle school. This theory states that Lizzie started taking her medication and Miranda was no longer needed. This is where the movie part of Lizzie McGuire comes in. Oh, and spoiler alert, in case you haven't seen it, Lizzie becomes more stable. Her parents allow her to travel to Rome with school, but things take a turn for the worst once again after after Lizzie believes she's talking to an Italian pop star. She even thinks that she looks like a pop star herself and can suddenly sing even after years and years of stage fright. She also totally hallucinated that entire award show moment. Truth be told, this would make sense considering her actual pop star lookalike joined her on stage. We'd like to add that "This is what dreams are made of" lyrics seem fitting because the award show is everything the schizophrenic Lizzie could dream of. Plus, it has the most perfect happy ending ever. Honestly, the schizophrenia theory is totally believable. But then again, this would definitely make everything a lot more dark. We'd like to keep Lizzie McGuire bright and bubbly. Thank you very much. Yeah, we know. We just ruined Lizzie McGuire for you. But make sure to tell us what you think in the comments below. Do you have your own Disney Channel theories? Share them with the rest of us and let's discuss. And that's it for our video. Don't forget to subscribe to The Things for more feel-good content. Thanks for watching. See you next time.